Welcome to your Pisces horoscopes for the week of the 5th through the 11th of May. And I'm just going to go ahead and apologize for the 12th time today, the 12th and final time. Yes, there was no horoscopes last week. The week before was literally a nightmare. I mean, the last week of the Mercury retrograde, I felt like I was crawling on my hands and knees, even into the first bit of the shadow period. So many miscommunications, so much anger, so much disorganization. It was exhausting. I apologize. I just did not have it in me to provide you with horoscopes for last week. But we have a great week this week to talk about. We're out of that Mercury retrograde officially. Shadow period is over. We're done with it. We're moving on from it at least until the summertime, where we will have another one again, and they'll have a little bit of a Virgo influence, but mainly a Leo influence. So at least that's the good news, right? We get a nice long break from it. We have said goodbye to Mars. Mars left last week, moved into Aries. Still have Saturn and Neptune in Pisces. Neptune is 29 degrees in Pisces. Now, that is the absolute last degree before it turns into another sign. And so here we are looking like Neptune's finally going to leave Pisces. And when I say finally going to leave Pisces, Neptune has been in Pisces as long as I've been doing horoscopes. And I've been doing horoscopes since 2010, 2011, 2012, somewhere around there. Okay. So Neptune's been in Pisces for a really long time. Not that that's a bad thing, really, because it is Pisces ruling planet. I bring this up, though, because it looks like Neptune is finally going to leave Pisces and move to another sign, but it will stay 29 degrees until July 2nd, where it goes retrograde. So it is not leaving Pisces this year. Maybe next year, but not this year. And right now, that's not a bad thing because Neptune is in a grand sextile with Pluto, as well as Jupiter, Uranus, the Sun. Jupiter, Uranus, and the Sun all focused on career. Neptune's focused on finances. We've got Pluto focused on your day-to-day schedule. Everything is lining up for you to really be focused on, your career goals, your financial goals. It's like everything is coming together. Now, if you've been in a situation, which a lot of us have, recently, where it just feels like you can never get ahead, like you're just in quicksand. The more you're walking, the more you're sinking. This is like, okay, we're past that now. We're actually moving forward towards something that makes a little bit more sense, something that's a little bit more comfortable. We're not running backwards anymore. We're moving forwards, which is really nice because it really feels crappy when you're putting all that work into things and not seeing a result. This is sort of forward movement where we do start to see results. Now, at the beginning of the week, there is just a little bit of a challenge there with Saturn as it moves into a square with the moon. I do believe that will be Monday. Let me just go ahead and double check here. I don't have my glasses on, so I really can't say anything. It's not Monday. I do believe, no. Where did it go? I know it was here. Okay, maybe it's towards the end of the week. Maybe I'm totally wrong. Yes. Okay. The moon in a square with Saturn on Wednesday. So right in the middle of the week there. I'm sorry, Thursday. Right in the middle of the week there. And it's not like a big deal either. We have all of these planets sort of working together towards a cause. Saturn is also focused on finances, and it's all about your responsibilities, while the moon is also focused on career at the same time. So, in some cases, to me, I interpret that to mean that, like, you know how it is. You're working, you can see your time card, you can see the money stacking up. You're like, oh, I'm finally I'm finally out of the water. I can finally have some wiggle room, and a responsibility that you forgot about just sort of pops up and goes, just kidding. I'm going to eat up all that extra money. And that is so frustrating. Okay. And that's really what this is all about. Don't get overly frustrated if you can avoid it, because that just puts the wrong energy into what you're doing. I think life has a tendency to, when you're doing well, wants to throw a stick in the middle of the road to trip you up. And the reason why life does that is not because life is a meanie, okay? The reason that life does that is to test you on how you're going to react to it. Now, if you fall down on the ground and just lay there and cry and do nothing, you're pretty much kind of dead in the water at that point. You're not going to be able to move forward. If you get kind of frustrated and you're like, oh, well, it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm just going to keep moving along. You're still going to get to where you want to go eventually. Okay. So don't get too terribly caught up in those little sticks in the road. Those things happen. They're going to continue to happen. The more you rail against it or use it as proof that you're never going to move forward, the more you're not going to move forward, the more you're going to be stuck, the more you're going to be sinking in that quicksand, and you don't want to put yourself in that situation. So that's what I have for you guys this week. I'm Melissa Bruce, Heavy Metal Sidekick. I will see you guys next week. And in the meantime, I want you guys to make it the best week ever, because you deserve the best week ever. I'll see you next week.